Another day by the fireplace. This time I'm standing though. I've done enough sitting today. So what I wanted to talk about today was the fact that what most people eat these days is literal poison. And I'm not just talking about, the Americans with all their McDonald's and all this kind of fast food diet that's kind of mainstream by this point. Everyone knows it. It's a joke by this point that Americans are fat and stuff like that. But it's the more mainstream diet that I'm going to critique here. So you might ask, what's wrong? What's so wrong with the mainstream diet, with these kind of bread-based diet that people have been eating for the last 12,000 years since the invention of agriculture? And I'm gonna say it's a lot of things. It's carbohydrates and fiber mainly. And obviously carbohydrates didn't exist before the invention of agriculture, and we didn't eat them in such large quantities like we do today with the potatoes, which were brought in from America, by the way. So that's an even more recent thing with bread, all that stuff. Seeing a lot of videos even how bread has lost its nutritive value, as if it even had any at the start. Well, it did, but there's really just stuff that's much better for humans than bread. Now, carbohydrates not being good for you has been a fairly mainstream idea too. Over the last few years, a lot of people have been talking about how it's basically sugar, which it is. It's not ideal. Your body's literal preferred source of energy is fat. So I hope that there's no need to really explain the evil of carbohydrates and grain, because obviously that would have not been part of the natural human diet. But fiber, a lot of people are like, fiber's great. Well, let me eat some fiber right before I eat my main course. And that's a fallacy that a lot of people fall into, especially people that get into dieting. They cut out carbs, but they keep in the fiber for whatever reason. Even if it's literally indigestible, it takes up 30% of your digestive enzymes. It basically slows down your digestion. I don't know how that's supposed to be good. Not to mention that all these vegetables are filled with phytic acid, with oxalates. Oxalates bind to calcium and create oxalate crystals in your thyroid. And yeah, it damages your thyroid. It also creates kidney stones. There's nothing good about it, despite every kind of mainstream doctor pushing it. There's nothing healthy about eating greens, about eating vegetables. I hate to break it to you. In nature, we weren't like cows going down some healthy grass, some healthy tree bark. That wasn't what people would eat back in the day. What would they eat? They would eat meat, they would eat animal products, literal meat. Meat has everything in it. And that's how humans survived for such a long time. Hunter-gatherers, right? They'd also eat, for example, berries and fruit in the summer. But only in the summer, right? All of the diet was meat. And all else came about with the creation of agriculture. Almost nothing about the mainstream diet, even kind of the mainstream quote-unquote healthy diet these days, is healthy or natural. You're literally eating plants, grain, and you want to think that's natural. Like, some foods even cause a certain repulsion from your body when eating it. Think of onions, think of them causing you to cry when you peel them. That's literally a sign of toxicity. I don't think anyone unironically likes greens. And it's not some childish thing saying, I don't want to eat my greens. Why do you think that children not like to eat their vegetables? Maybe it's because they trust their natural senses. Maybe because of that. Senses can be distorted by civilization, but some of them really stay and are really ingrained in us. That's why children have this kind of repulsion for the kind of greens, kind of veggies. Oh, eat your veggies or you're not gonna grow up to be big and strong. No, you should be drinking milk to grow up to be big and strong, but eating a bunch of meat instead of eating some random grass or whatever. And that's my point. That's what I wanted to bring across. So as we sit here in this kind of really, really minus 12 degrees, I think it is right now, minus 15 might be. But as we sit here in this weather, really think about it. think about how distorted our diet has become over the years, about how people are literally poisoning themselves with what they're eating, with their day-to-day foods. Really keep thinking about your ancestors who would sit around a fire and eat their food, their mammoth or whatever. Think about that. And let it remind you that the human natural diet was never poison. Keep thinking and keep questioning.